Hi everyone and welcome to HOA Fight Club. My name is Raylene Schifano and I am doing these videos to educate and help consumers before they buy, or if they're in an HOA, figure out their actions and what they can do if they're having problems with their boards or any other issues of HOA and condo ownership. Today I'd like to address bullies. Bullies in HOA are a little bit different. Usually if you get bullied and you're in school or you're at work, you can go to somebody and you have the right to file a complaint or seek help. In HOA, you don't have that right. Your right is to make a complaint to the board, and if the board is the one that you're having problems with, then they get to talk amongst themselves and decide whether they're going to take action against themselves. Well, most of the time, I don't think the board is going to take any action against themselves. So that's really hard. Now, if it's the property manager that you're dealing with, most likely the board will not take any action against the property manager unless they're having issues with that property manager also. If they're having problems with the property manager, they probably change property managers. Usually the board and the property manager work really close. So it's probably not going to help you to make a complaint to the board about the property manager. Then there's the attorneys. The attorneys are always on the board side. They protect the board and the property manager. The reason they do this is because the board pays the bills. So anything the board says, the property managers are going to do. They also protect their investment. Their investment is that property. Those attorneys can pull a huge amount of money for working with an HOA or a condo association, especially a condo association. They can put fines and fees and liens and foreclosures and make really, really big money doing that as a HOA attorney. So those are some of the bullies there. We have all dealt with, a bully on a board where, like, the board president is overbearing and malicious and very intimidating. So, but the other thing that I've dealt with was bullies with attorneys at legislative meetings. So I went to testify for homeowners to get our rights back, to go to board meetings, to have low cost mediation and arbitration and some other things. And when I did this, I was in a room full of many attorneys. I think it was me and another homeowner, and there probably was between 50 and 75 attorneys in the room. They testified, they probably had 3 or 4 of them, and these attorneys were the attorneys that wrote the laws. Well, after the testifying that I did, as I was walking out the door, the attorney that wrote the law came up to me and said, "You should have just paid your $50 fine." Well, my response to him was, well, the board should have just dropped the $50 fine. They had no evidence to fine me with. No, that's not how HOA works. You should have just paid the fine. Well, I felt bullied even at the legislative meeting because he was telling me that my rights didn't matter, that due process doesn't matter, that in HOA, we are just people in a corporation and we have no rights that matter. So I was really taken aback by that an attorney who should be seeking good things in the law is trying to benefit and profit from the law instead of making the law better for everyone. Some of the other places that I've really dealt with bullies, and this one's going to kind of shock you, is actually in HOA groups. You go into a group on Facebook or Twitter and you expect to feel welcomed and feel like that's a group effort, that everybody's going through the same thing as you are. Well, there's many people that are in those groups that are on boards or are property managers or real estate agents that don't like what you're doing. They don't like that you're fighting for your rights. So they gang up on you, they call you names. Just the other day, I was told that I was a disgruntled homeowner again, and that having PTSD in an HOA is crazy. Just the fact that she attacked me, saying that my PTSD or my anxiety or HOA syndrome doesn't exist is right there harassment and being bullied. So she or he, not sure who it was, doesn't really care, and they want to attack you on social media because they're angry. They always seem so angry. Why are people angry that we want our rights back? That to me is scary, that other people are angry that HOA and condo owners want to have some rights. And the other thing that I've seen that people are doing as bullies is when you're in those HOA groups is I had a friend that had a name and her name matched our president's name, and nobody would help her because they thought that she was a bot or something else. I don't know. It was crazy, but they treated her really bad. Look, we all have to get together. Not everything works the same. If you're having trouble with your HOA, what worked for me may not work for you. What works for somebody else may not work for you. I tried to stand up to my board. I did a recall of the board. I got the neighbors together and caused a major shift in our property. Yes, at the end of the day, I got rid of 3 to 5 property management companies that were really bad, lots of attorneys, and many board members. It did not help me at all. All it did was cause me more pain and higher attorney bills. Now, did it help the property? Yes, but as soon as I leave, it'll probably go back the way it was, because if I can't fight for everyone if I leave, so who's gonna fight once I leave? You have to be smart enough to know the laws. If you don't know the laws and know that the laws are not on your side, then you will jump in and try to fight them head on. You cannot fight HOA head on. You have to fight HOA by fighting the laws first. That's how you fight HOA. You have to change the laws. If you want to get into your HOA and make a difference, get on the board. No matter what it takes, get on the board, make a difference. Make a difference with your neighbors by seeing the financials, knowing what the numbers are, getting to see the bank accounts, making sure the money's there, making sure everything is kosher. Because if you're not on the board and you're in a bad HOA, or you don't know really what the financials are, you're letting your investment sit in somebody else's hands. And as I came in this property, these people were relying upon this board for the last 20 years. They were relying that their money was actually going where it was supposed to. In the next few weeks, I will expose where the money was actually going. I will show you what a property manager was doing, how they were commingling funds, how they were shifting money out to other properties, out to other nonprofits. The people that they foreclosed on, how they foreclosed on people that weren't able to defend themselves and didn't know how to defend themselves. Being a bully is not okay. You can't just bully people out of their properties because you think you need a profit. That's what they think is okay. So if somebody's bullying you on social media and they're in an HOA or on a board, or even if they're not, if they're bullying you, they have no good intentions. Nobody should be bullied in their own home. And if you think that HOA doesn't cause anxiety or PTSD or anything else, then you need to walk in somebody else's shoes, because it really does. There are many, many thousands of homeowners suffering that have lost their homes. The stories that I will share in the next few months are going to shock America that that's happening. I'm sure you see it on TV already. You see many stories of people suffering because their rights have been taken away. We need to stand up and say, no more, because speaking up matters. All right, I'll see you on the next one.